Kia ora whānau, I'm Casey.
I'm Patty.
And this is our third day of our 25-day mental health awareness challenge. Shout out to my cousin Cora Hoods for nominating me, and my love for coming along for the ride to be the extra person just to bounce ideas off, and not just that, but also my support system over the past 6 years while I went through my mental health issues. Today, if this is your first day, we go through and we write down some situations or scenarios that we've been through during our relationship, and then we talk about them and how they affected our relationship, what we did to get out of it, tools we used, everything like that. So today we pulled out a card, and it was called the Nans. How did we feel losing our Nan? How did you cope being in another country? So what we're gonna do actually is this has been kind of like a roller coaster emotional ride for us today, because this isn't just the second time we've tried this video.
This is the fourth
time we've tried to do this video, and our first time was like super good, heaps of emotion in there. We got to talk about a lot of
really
things.
hard.
Yeah, so that was good. Everything was like coming out from the heart, like it was like really, really sad. You know what I mean? And then we lost that video. And then the second video we did, which was like about half an hour ago, we had no emotion. Because I think we were just like so angry that we lost the first one. So there was
Who does that?
Right, there was like no emotion there. And then, but what I got out of that I thought was really interesting was that Patrice had said something in that video.
Which one?
The half an hour. Number two. She had said something in that video that really sparked the conversation between us, and I thought it was really,
obviously, because I didn't want it to come out wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. So the situation is, when we moved to Australia, 2 weeks after we moved to Australia, Patty's
my nan passed away.
Nanny Parkle passed away. We couldn't go to her tangi because we just got here. We didn't have the funds or anything to go home. It was something that wasn't expected, but kind of expected. Her passing wasn't expected.
Wasn't expected, and then definitely.
So we couldn't go home then.
Mm-hmm.
3 months after that or so, like around about-ish, my father's mother's mother passed away, so my great-grandmother passed away. And then 2 weeks after that, or 2 weeks-ish after that, my father's mother passed away, so my grandmother passed away. We didn't go back to my great-grandmother's tangi or funeral, and but we did, luckily we were able to, through Patty's cousin, to go home for my nan's, my grandmother's tangi. And what did you say? Because we talked about how hard it was to go back.
Yeah.
All the emotions that we're going through, how I was like depresso over losing my nan. We went back. So the thing is, she had a stroke. We went to the hospital. She died in the hospital. Then we took her back to the East Coast. And in our culture, our loved ones lay with us between like 3 to 5-ish days, depending how hot it is. No, I don't know. Is it how hot it is? They will lay with us, and then we'll have a burial day. Anyway, we didn't get to go to the burial because we had a flight to come back and go to work. And I was talking about how sad it was that I couldn't go there, and I felt like I hadn't gotten closure from my nanny while dying, and it still doesn't feel real, kind of.
Yes and no.
Yeah. And then what did you say?
So, because I didn't want to sound rude, so I said it after we'd stopped videoing. That, like, I was trying to explain, maybe you should be a bit more grateful that we went back and that you were able to be with your family. But see, I didn't want to say it on the on the video because the way it came out sounds rude when it's not supposed to. Because obviously I was super happy for us to go back and spend like that last day or two with her and be with the family and go up to the coast. But I think we were focusing a lot on her on the last day of not being with her, and Casey was having a hard time coming to terms with it because she wasn't there on the last day. So
yeah, I get it now. Like before, I thought you're trying to have like
a go at you, but it's definitely not
by
a
saying
go.
like, bro, you're like being selfish. Like,
see,
you got
but
to
did
be
you
there.
hear how I said it the first time? Yeah, even that first, but it sounded rude, right? And it was hard to say something like that without it not even like I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah. No, but I get what you were trying to say. Like when you first said, I was like, it came across as if, yeah, but you should just be grateful because I didn't get to do that with my grandmother.
Yeah.
And I think how that came out, it kind of like broke me a bit. But then when listening to your talk after that, I think because that happened off camera too, I was just like, oh, okay, I get it.
But then you're like, all right, let's talk about it. But at the same time, I still hadn't explained it to you properly. I was just like in the room like, you know, I mean, you should be happy that you were there.
Yeah.
See, that's all I said, and I couldn't, you know.
No, but I get it. But
yeah.
I guess the way that we can like bring it back to mental health issues is that I automatically thought what I thought, like that you were just saying like,
and you
just
would focus on that.
Yeah, just be grateful that you did that, and I didn't get to do that. And I'm just like, hey, yeah, but and always kind of like playing not the victim, but like, oh, but what about me? You know what I mean? Whereas I think that's kind of like what depression or anxiety does. It looks at the bad and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
but then that means like what you want is like a full explanation of everything. Like I would just say it to you, and that's how we usually communicate sometimes, unless we keep talking about it. I would just say something like that, and then I would automatically assume that you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But really that's not how it was, and that's what happened after we filmed, videoed that last one. You know, vlogging. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. And I think that's like tools that people can use, because when you had said that, I automatically looked at the negative side of it. Of you comparing us and just telling me, no, just be grateful you got what you got, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't get that. But in actual reality, what you were trying to say was that look at the positive side of this. You got to hang out with your family. You got to see your nan before she passed, and you got to be there leading all the way up until her burial. You know, just remember that. Don't focus just on the bad or the negative, but to always look at the positive. And I think that was something that I wanted to touch base with, because my mind automatically went to negative, but not positive. And
I think that's what I forget as well.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how long we've been together and how long sometimes this stuff does come up, I would still always say stuff and be like, I mean, come on, you should know that's not what I thought, or you should know. But that's not how it works.
But that was interesting. That was like a big learning for me, because like it's something so simple that I mean, should have been like I would have been able to get and stuff like that. But then obviously I didn't.
But that's like but we've been through a lot of stuff like that. There's always something. And I think at the beginning I wasn't one to really explain myself. I would just be like, well, I didn't mean that. But this is after everything's happened. Like, after she's had a breakdown and after she's like, just like, expected me to say more. And I'm just like, well, you should know. You should know that's not what I mean. But it's not always.
I think
like
sometimes though my mind is kind of like weird because, like with me, I would say what I mean. I mean what I say, right? But I like to be like definite that you know what I mean, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas like I think how you explain things is it can go anywhere. If you understand, like, you can explain something to me, and then I'll just be like, oh yeah, and I'm like thinking, fuck yeah, we're on the same page, fuck it, let's get it. And then 10 minutes later, we're like going different ways, and I'm like, well, what the hell are you doing over there? I thought we were doing this, and I thought we were doing this, and I was like, so I think that's what I need from you is a lot more clarity of what you actually mean, because like,
and this has caused like a lot.
Bro, heaps
of problems. But yeah, we sometimes think differently. A lot of the time we think differently.
And this conversation just came from like, I don't even know what to call this thing now. But
this is from 3 videos.
4 videos.
4 videos. And what we did was we were talking about the same thing. And then every time we brought up this particular bit in the video, I'll always be like...
like, you could tell that she wanted to say something. She never said
but the way I say it comes off rude, because that's what I mean. Like, that's what I want to say. But then how do I go back and explain it to her properly? Because...
someone's just like, hey?
Their face is like... what?
But that's like good learnings, because I guess like you've learned how to kind of communicate with me in a way that kind of makes me understand.
Yeah.
Was that a statement or a question?
I don't know, but you know what?
But either way, it was good, because yeah, like we said, we've had this conversation 4 times in the past like 3 hours, and each time it got to that you were like...
yeah.
like that, like you were like that, and I was just like, bro, what the hell are you on? And then when you said it, I was just like, hey, I thought we were gonna have a full-on rumble. No, we didn't.
Yeah, sure.
But it ended up being a really good learning about how... well, you explain what kind of learning that was.
I don't know.
Communication. It was some good communication.
But no, that was actually really good.
Yeah.
I mean, although we've cried a lot today.
Staying
video number 1.
Yeah.
You're still learning.
Still learning.
6
We've been together 6 years and we're still learning about each other.
Married and still learning. But that's good. I know we're still gonna come across stuff. I know we're gonna come across some more stuff, but we're growing.
So,
what's the point of this video?
What was the point of this video? Anyway, it started off grieving our Nans. We might say that for another day, but it actually ended up in a real life exclusive way to deal with... I don't even know how to communicate, I guess, properly without... yeah.
I don't know, it was good. It was great. 14 minutes. Bloody hell,
we're pretty good. Not sure
most
what
of it
meant.
was us doing. Okay.
Not sure exactly what this one is about. But I guess the tools we used to get out of it was communicate properly. Mean what you say what you mean. And just get to the point right then and there. This is like 4 years. 4 years she has held on to that. Held on to saying that. So to finally
But at the same time, we didn't talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we had kind of left it in that year that it happened.
Yeah.
And we'll bring up the good stuff, but we never talked about that stuff. And I think talking about it 3 times today. And, yeah. But there's no hate. Still love it.
No hate, still loving. Day 3 of 25 days. Tomorrow, day 4. Hopefully we find the video. Alright, love yous. Bye.